Yes.
I got you a new chair so you won't sink down.
This thing is as unstable as I am.
Oh yeah, it'll fall. It'll go back, but it will stop eventually. Welcome to episode 55 of Strong
56.
and Petty. 56.
56.
Devin's age of Strong and Petty.
3 higher than we can count.
To be alive if you can't do that.
It's not something that you can just make up about yourself. You have to be able to show that you are as strong as you say you are. Especially if you're competing in strongman.
Here at Iron Age here in beautiful the west end of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Beautiful.
Especially now that the springtime melt is happening and you can see all.
I can guarantee you couldn't find a needle within 10 blocks this place.
Nope, definitely not. There's there's nothing disgusting coming up now that the snow is melting. There's no condoms and there's no garbage and there's no just that sand that's fucking everywhere.
Oh.
It's just like it's a real beautiful thing.
I was just blasting here with my truck, and I was on Notre Dame, and I'm like, oh, there's some water from the snow we had this morning, rain.
Yeah.
It's just surface water, so I didn't slow down. Hit it like 65. No. It was more than surface water.
Oh, yeah.
My truck is now, I had just washed it, but it is completely brown. Like, couldn't get my wipers go fast enough. I was like, oh boy, this is not good.
They've been tearing up Aaron and Wall on both sides here for a little while, like the last couple of years. So it's like better. But man, is it fucked rough? Like,
your front of your building got shit kicked from this. Like the street got shit kicked.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be nice, but
it's getting there, and I'm sure that they have because they're doing it like in sections. So I'm sure we have a whole other year of just another part of it being blocked off. So that'll be fun.
Before we get too deep, shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. We always do it at the very end, but we're gonna do it now when everyone's fresh and your ears are still perked up and you're still paying attention.
You actually like listening to us.
Yeah.
Jeremy Wien's realtor.
Yes, the man himself.
The man, the myth, the legend. Hey, shout out to one of our listeners.
I was gonna say, don't say their name, but
not gonna say their name. But I wasn't gonna say it. I'm learning. Supposedly. Reached out to me on the old Instagrammer.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I need content for Jeremy. We're looking for a house.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
beautiful.
you know what? I heard it on your podcast, and that's
that.
I'm hoping it pays off for him.
We love that. We've said. I mean, we've said it ad nauseum how much we value.
What?
Yeah, that's right. That's one of my Thrones words.
Holy piss.
How much we value and appreciate like this community that we've created, where people that I didn't know a year ago, 2 years ago, are now close friends of mine. You know what I mean? And we have this kind of like. We're getting close to this like self-sustaining thing here where it's like, oh, you need a house? We got somebody. You need a gym? We got a couple people here. We got a couple people there. You know, you need somebody. You need a
physio.
You need a collectible store. You need a physio. You need all this shit. Like we have people inside the community that we can start pointing to just take care of each other. You know what I mean? Like in as much as we possibly can. Where if you have a business and you're involved in the strongman scene. We want to know about it. We want to be able to point people to it. If you're one of our competitors who has a small business, something like that, or if you have a service that you offer or something like that, just let us know because we want people to be able to.
Unless you're a realtor.
Unless you're another realtor, in which case,
screw you.
That spot is taken, my friend.
I know we have other realtors in the strongman community.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
But they don't support us.
They don't support the same way that Jeremy Wien's realtor does. So
hit him up.
Hit him up, our man. He's got the biggest bench press in Winnipeg Realty. Yeah, we.
Speaking of bench press.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I called the doctor and I'm like, hey, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think maybe 3 weeks. 2 weeks since the MRI, and I'm like, what's going on? I haven't heard from the surgeon. No, it's been 3 weeks since the MRI, and so it's been 4 weeks since the injury. And I'm like, so what's going on? I just need to know. I need to plan my summer. Like, am I golfing? Am I not golfing?
For sure.
Am I lifting? Am I?
Are you doing stuff around the cabin?
Yeah. Am I building my new house? What am I doing? Right.
Yeah.
So I called Legacy. I'm like, hey, we actually sent you a letter. Okay, what does the letter say? I don't want to wait for the letter. So I booked in to see the surgeon in a month.
Oh, so you're going all the way with it?
Well, I'm booked in to see the surgeon in a month for my consult.
Oh, to see the surgeon.
So I'm only getting my consult May 14th.
Wow.
So it's going to be 8 weeks post injury to when I finally get to talk to the surgeon.
Oh wow, that sucks.
So I'm like, do I rehab? Do I not rehab?
It's 8 weeks of I'm just sitting and waiting. That's brutal, man.
Like I went on the bench yesterday. There's a girl at my gym struggling with her bench. I mean, I'll show you just 95 pounds in the bar. Like I could throw it through the ceiling. Right. The strength is all there. It's just painful. It just feels like it's
even at 95, it still hurts.
Oh yeah. It just feels like it's on fire.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna run the next 4 weeks. I've ordered all my peptides. They're all sitting in my fridge, patiently waiting to be just absorbed into my body.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to rehab it. Because if it's 4 weeks till I see him, what's it going to be? 4 to 6 to 8 weeks till I get surgery?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Right?
Just if seeing him for a consultation is that long.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
looking
even
into
imagine what it would be
July
right now.
to get surgery probably.
For sure.
I might as well rehab it, get back to lifting. At least I can do overhead or
You should
something.
compete in Manitoba's Strongest Man.
I
And
should.
Just take care of it once and for all.
On the bench.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it.
It would be terrible if I went in with a
Well,
torn pec and won the event.
That would be something else. Go out in a blaze of glory and
Yeah.
just drop a car on your
Yeah,
chest.
surgery now. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. If you want to, because I had so many DMs where people want to know what's up with me.
Hey man, people are wondering. People want to know what's going on with you though, because you're an important figure.
Speaking
in
of
the scene.
DMs, if you've noticed a influx of information on the Manitoba Strongman page on like how on the ball we've been with posting everything, it's because I let Tyler take over half of
Oh,
it.
come on now.
So, well,
For anyone who doesn't know, Devin is a man who likes to have a firm grasp on things.
I'm a bit of a control freak.
But the thing is that you get the job done. So it's like
Yeah.
it would be one thing if I was like, if things sucked and you were a control freak, then I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, you gotta keep fucking whatever. But it got to a point where I was like, I feel bad like asking you to do like everything on there.
Yeah, you'd send me the thing. Can you post this?
Like
And I'm
when
like, man,
when you have time, like when you
yeah,
have,
I have 6
Fri-
Instagram
friendly
accounts.
reminder,
yeah.
yeah, like-
And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. So I just at the novice show, I'm like, Tyler, please, I'm gonna give you the passwords. Of course, my control freak. I'm like, I'm gonna keep the password still.
Yeah.
So I can still monitor what's going on.
Yeah, I don't get my own. You still have it.
That's so bad. No, but it's
No, but
so.
the
So
point
Tyler's
is that
really
we both have access. to
well,
it.
and you're really good at like shout out to our sponsors, and I know I wasn't giving our sponsors what they deserved.
Well, now we I think that we still did, but we're going to be even more on the ball with
Yeah.
that now. And so now if you're contacting the Manitoba Strongman page, don't think that it couldn't be me reading it, because
Yeah.
it could be.
Odds are it'll be.
So
It'll be. I actually deleted Instagram off my phone completely. I'm
Really?
just checking on the computer. Just too many notifications between.
yeah. I mean that makes
I
sense.
send a lot of memes, whatever the heck you call them, memes.
memes.
Memes?
No memes.
Memes?
You had it right the first time.
Well, Gross and Grossa keep saying wrong.
Yeah,
You guys
your
keep
boomerness
judging
is
me with
showing.
your ELA skills, and so I was just like, man, it's too much. I'm just consuming time. I actually deleted all my social media phone. I just check it now. I'm gonna probably check once or twice a day, answer all my messages,
Yeah.
follow up on stuff. Maxwell Straw, I'm gonna reshare it. If you haven't gotten to it yet, I'm gonna see if I can get some more
More headspace.
dopamine back or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's
Yeah.
I know that feeling too, where it's like you're a little overwhelmed. Like I have the gym in Manitoba Strongman, and I have my own shit, and I have my wrestling stuff, and it's
And it's tax time. I get always like this during tax time.
for sure. Yeah, of course.
And in the month's tax time, I pay a lot of taxes.
Well,
and
you
I
make a
don't
lot-
like
you make
paying
a ton-
taxes.
Manitoba Strongman makes a ton of money, so we got a lot of stuff to figure
Yeah,
out here.
speaking of that, we actually, because there was a couple dollars left in the account, we actually got to pay tax on our friggin' income.
Nice.
So that's a humdinger.
There we go.
We probably owe $100 or $100. That's the bullshit part of the whole thing is you're doing this. We left a little bit of buffer in this. We had money to prepay the T-shirts and get everything going for the next season.
Yeah.
You got to pay tax that money.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Good old liberal government. And they put out the budget today. So any of you liberal guys, you suck shit. I just want you to know. So does your government.
Are you? Do you have anybody coming up who's doing Lane? Lane's doing the Battle of Barbarian
Yep.
show, right?
Yep.
How's he feeling for that one?
Yep. You know what? I haven't spoken. We were talking yesterday.
Love you, Lane.
He was having a rough day. So someone broke into his car, his brother's car, and stole
Oh,
a bunch of
really?
like sentimental shit.
Oh shit! That's
Smashed the vial that his grandma's ashes are in.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Stole like baby blankets that they got handed down. Like, so he was pretty down out yesterday. So,
Yeah, that's a tough day, man.
That was brutal. Brutal.
Yeah.
I hate theft. But no, he's doing good. He's doing good.
That's good.
Prep's going good.
It's not a bad competition for him.
Yeah, he works long days, so he's often a day or two behind his program, or he'll cram 3 days and like 3 days back to back instead of getting the rest period in just to
Yeah.
make it work. But that's just life.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Who
yeah.
goes into a show? Whoever goes into a show with, unless you're a farmer,
Yeah. And we know one.
you could just log clean in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
let's
do you
do
see
a
that?
little bit, yeah. But you know, but there's I think there's something to what you're getting into there for a moment where it's like that's the beauty. I mean, really, all the way up to the pro league level because it doesn't change that much when you get your pro status or whatever. But when we're talking about guys who are hobbyists who are doing this on the amateur level and stuff, I can't I think that maybe me, like guys like me might have been one of the very few who like rolled in being like, this is all that I've been thinking about lately. You know what I mean? Because I got no family, no kids. I did like my job was like I bounced. You know what I mean? When I was in the
Your life revolved around.
I was able to focus a lot of attention and energy on strongman, right? But most guys are not lucky.
Well, I mean, even if you look even if you look in the pro scene, how many guys right now? I mean, you got Novikov and he rushed like their countries are at war, and I know Ukraine. You can't leave the country,
right? Well, that's
as a man,
right? So he's been away from country for how?
Yeah,
how
I think
long,
there's exceptions for professional athletes just because they still represent the country. But there's that shit going on. You got family dying. You go
to the highest level. And there's always
something.
With,
I don't want to speak out of context now because I don't know a lot of what's going on there. Just what
I
see on CNN.
Right, but you can just look at it objectively and be like, oh, that's a bad thing that's happening over there.
It's horrible.
Yeah, and it's got to weigh on your mind heavily, and it's got to affect like I think about like if I get into an argument with Gian or something, or it's even something less than that, like just something shitty happens. Yeah, and you're like, all right, time to go train now. And you're just like, fuck it, I don't.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of protesting. I don't have time.
Yeah, like you gotta like.
What do you think about that?
What's that?
Protesters blocking highways.
I'm not for it.
Like I think put moose bumpers on the semis and let them run.
I think that things that create enemy like bad will amongst normal people is not a good way to.
Like I remember, because I was always very much like, no, protesters should be shot. Not that bad, but
come on,
like run them off the road. Not shot. I'm just kidding. But I went to the Freedom Convoy and the rally and stuff because it was a cause I was behind.
Oh, you're a protester.
And that's exactly it. So then I had him like, wait a second. So when I'm on board for what I want, it's okay.
You gotta.
But if I'm not for the cause, I say run him over. Like that was my thought always. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta humble myself here a bit. Yeah. You know, it's. There's been a lot of protests. Now we didn't block the highways. Luckily, I just sat on the sidewalks and watched people. But I don't agree with blocking major traffic routes, blocking ambulances, like what's happening in the States and all over the place with shit that's not happening in our country. Right. Right. Like, yeah. It's It'd be like Robert Oberst just blocking the highway saying deadlifts are gay or something. Shout out to Robert Oberst.
But yeah, but I was gonna say before, like it's just like when you have that feeling of like you have to drag yourself through a training session. Yeah. And now thinking about it, you have to do that at like the highest level, and then you have to do that with something much more serious than getting into a fucking tiff with your old lady or whatever. But and then to bring it around all the way again, like
does that happen?
No, never. When you're in the amateur level, like that's the reality of it. And so when you when you're someone like Lane who has to work a long like tough hours, long job. Yeah. Well, I guarantee you, there's 5 other guys in your weight class who are doing the exact same thing.
I'm not laughing or saying you said like getting a tiff with the old lady. So it just reminded me of something. I had Jeremy Weens over on Monday night. We have an accountability group every 2 weeks we meet and just go over goals and goal setting and how he's doing and how we're doing. Him and Kendall and Danielle came into the living room because we usually do it at my gym, but I renovated a bit. So Danielle came in the living room and said some smart ass comment about something, like trashing me, bugging me in front of the guys. And I turned around and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you just go wait in the bedroom. You shut your mouth, wait in the bedroom until I get there. Like, I've had enough of you for one day. She just walks away. And the guys are like...
See, she's walking away because she was like, this isn't worth my time.
Yeah. But
in their eyes...
In my head, I was like, look at this guy. Yeah. I'm like, just go wait in the bedroom. You got what's coming to you.
Yeah. She's like, wow, shut the fuck up, Devin.
Yeah. 10 seconds of glory. This is going to be sweet.
So we got 3 guys going for the Battle of the Barbarians one that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And Michelle's coming as well, right?
Michelle's going out there too.
She's Iron Image.
Yeah, she's an Iron Image rep. So we're gonna. But if she needs that, like, if she's listening, if you need
is anybody carpooling?
Oh yeah, we got. I'm going with Nate. Okay. We're trying to figure out if Thrones can make his way out there. He wants to just come watch. Of course. Candace and Jenna are just gonna come watch and hang out. And
is Martin going to watch?
Martin's competing.
That makes because either way he's there.
Absolutely.
So he might as well compete.
If there's a strength sport happening, Martin will be. You will see him in the background of the photos there.
You're coaching him, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Man, he's made some good strides.
I couldn't be more proud of him. Yeah. He's doing fantastic. He's hit numbers that I don't think that he thought he could hit. Like
I laughed my ass off yesterday when you posted just Martin dragging his balls all over
dragging his nuts all over the gym. Yeah,
I literally sat there and laughed out loud at home.
He was. He just because and it was a good example of I think that being in the right environment. He was at a different gym before, and God bless him. But I think that him being in an environment that's a little more conducive to what he needed, which is. So we have the lighter dumbbell. Yep. And then we have the 100-pound dumbbell. which is like the regular like what do you call it? Regulation side as far as whatever that means. But then we have a lighter one that's very small. It sits very weird on your shoulder, but it's a good practice one. It's a good one to get started with and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, like, I don't think I'm ready for like the 100 yet, whatever. But he's at like 90 with the lighter one, and I was like, man, it's so much harder with that small one when the weight's that close. Like you're gonna get it with the bigger one,
and you're higher up with the bigger one, less range of motion.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I don't know, and I was like, just fucking do it. And so then he put it on his shoulder and he smoked it a bunch of times, and it was just sometimes you just need like just that gentle push, you know what I mean? And Martin's a guy where he's so new to strongman and stuff that I don't think that he realizes that like. He can do more than he thinks he can.
Absolutely.
And he's hitting PRs on the axle every week, kind of getting ready for. We're also going to be doing something new with him, which is a water cut. He's going to go from.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah, he's been dropping weight pretty consistently. His strength is still going up. So
how old is Martin?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I think I want to say 20s.
He's a young man,
but looks.
He's years of wisdom and crammed into his head, and he's
like I seen a meme the other day that said the V cut I'm wanting, and it's like the V cut below your belly,
absolutely,
and the V cut I'm getting, it's the hair loss, and I'm like,
and Martin, trust me, brother, it's not just you. But he's just crushing it, and I'm really happy to see that kind of progression.
A water cut. What's he want to cut to?
The 105 division.
Ooh,
yeah, so
speedy Martin.
Yeah, he'll be just under 2. Well, I won't get too much into it.
You know what kind of shoes he's going to wear that day?
Probably ones with little wings on the side.
Fast.
Yeah.
Fast shoes.
And he's we're excited for that. And Nate's been still dropping weight. Nate's now like in the 2.8. So he works with Swint here, who's our nutrition guy, and he was like 330 when he started with Swint. Yeah. And now he's down to like 280 or something. It's like 50 pounds and getting stronger too. Yeah. Like not seeing that dump that you would expect to see when there's.
Yeah, he's looking. I would give it 6 months. He'll see his own dick.
It seems entirely possible.
I'm thinking so.
It seems entirely possible.
Might even see his toes.
He's been doing great, and Jeremy too. Who I don't think he'd mind me saying he had a recent he was just hospitalized recently. He had a really bad allergic reaction. So get better.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He's on the mend already, but it was a rough. I guess it was a scary one. So
that was life threatening.
I think it was. Yeah. So he's gonna look to have a big comeback underdog story at the Battle of the Barbarians there, and he's the guy too where he told me that he's interested in like really pursuing strongman, trying to push it and trying to hit the pro level, and I believe him. He's a guy where when he says that I believe him because
he's made huge strides this year.
Yeah, he's taking it seriously. He's doing all the right stuff, and he's just a guy where it's like, yep. It was the same thing when Dan said it. Yep. When Dan says I'd like to get my pro status, I was like, well, you will.
Is he doing Manitobas?
Jeremy?
No.
Dan?
As
far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of a slow sign up for Manitoba just because there's still a show before it, right? Yeah. And I get that. We gotta get our ladies signed up.
Yeah, I do. I was going through the list this morning, and
not good for the ladies so far. We want to make sure that we have. It's an extremely short list. We want to make sure that we have a good
one.
Yes, one. That's what
we got one girl signed up.
But I know that we have more who are going to do it, and they're gonna. I have
but
at least
6 men.
Yes. Well, we need more guys. We need more girls, and we're going to get it. I'm very confident that I could name 6 people from my gym who are not.
But to be honest, the 6 that are signed up, good sign up.
Absolutely.
You, Andrew, Martin, Ryan Fraze, Bushi, Brian. I'm excited for this year's. I keep saying I'm glad I won what I won. I could just step away and just never compete again and be like, oh look, I was once. Just that whole bullshit of I know what I know, but winning's winning.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. But Brian and Langlar are being signed up there. Bushi, those are guys that I'm really excited to see how they can shake things up now that because they weren't there last year.
No, and Bushi hit a 205 circuits in the gym the other day.
Did he really?
Something like that, or 25. I thought he hit 205.
Shit, well that's great.
Flying up for him. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
we're gonna see some big numbers for that one, I think. And
I think you're gonna see a lot of guys that max circuits dumbbell. I'm hoping to see someone up as a 250.
That'd be amazing. I think that Dan's a guy who could. He's got the right now. He's got the highest one off the record. Yeah. Just in gym in Manitoba, I think.
What's your best? 220?
215. I've hit.
215.
He's at 220 for a triple now. So I think that he has close to that 230 to 250 mark in him.
I would think so. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping. I really hope to see it.
And it's tough because it's like with circus dumbbell, it's so technique oriented that all it takes is a very small flub and then 220 to 225 feels like a huge jump, or
And
whatever it might
isn't
be.
that like 250? Oh, well, should be 300 soon. Majority of people never get there.
Never, yeah.
That's just crazy.
It's yeah. But speaking of Manitoba Strongest, why don't we take this moment to go over the women's weights
Yes.
for Manitoba Strongest Woman?
Yes.
And maybe that will entice some of you goddamn women to sign up for this competition. Now, I know you guys are going to, and I know you will, so do it. Max Circus dumbbell, whatever, obvious.
Max.
So yoke run 80 feet.
Yeah.
And we said it was going to be a heavy yoke, and the weight's going to be
475.
475. So it's going to be a nice heavy yoke.
Gonna
for you
be
guys.
heavy.
Yeah, I think that most of the women will be able to fit it. It's so hard to say. I don't know. It's fucking the women. What I think should be heavy is sometimes.
Well,
They
judging
cruise
by
there.
our stupid novice show, jeepers. I think there's going to be some that'll struggle to get at 5 feet.
Yeah.
Just some of the smaller girls.
Sure.
That's a heavy weight. That's
For
a
sure.
3-time body weight yoke for a lot of our girls.
Yep.
And which in comparison, I mean, I've walked 1,000 pounds at 240,
Right.
so that's 4 times.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah. So I think that some of the ladies
we
will
probably
do-
have similar estrogen levels.
Yeah, but certainly now.
Yeah, it's definitely now.
Yeah, I think there's a few women who will really crush that one.
Yeah.
And there's a few that'll I think it'll be a good weight for them.
I'd like to see one. I don't know who. I'm not saying who, but I would like to see a woman finish it with no drops.
Oh, I think that's
That would be
possible.
wild to see.
I think there's a couple women that jump to mind that I think that could do that.
Yep.
So we have the circus dumbbell, car bench press.
What do we do?
Is it 165? I think,
Yeah,
right?
165.
Yeah,
for
165 for reps on that one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get those levers way out for that one on the car bench.
Yeah, that'll be. There'll be some adjusting.
Maybe we'll get a different vehicle.
We'll have to
for
get a
that
different.
one.
Yeah, 165. I will have to do some serious adjusting to get that car down to 165 in the hands.
Maybe a tire, car.
No, I'm gonna make it work with the car.
Okay, I like it.
just
Good.
don't
I
know
like
how
it.
yet.
Okay, I like it.
I built that apparatus for training, so it can come out. Yeah, it's gonna work, man.
Sweet. Okay. And then we had the stone run. So we don't know so we're making the stones for this competition.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what they're going to weigh until we're done and they're cured and they're ready to go. But a good estimation would be.
We're talking between 160
Yeah.
and at the higher end 280 to 300
Yeah. It'll probably, I think, no, it's going to say 250-ish.
or 250.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yes, because we said 250 or 275.
yeah. So somewhere in that range is where the stones will fall. So just be ready for a heavy stone run and you'll be prepared.
Probably somewhere between 150 and 260.
There you go.
Let's say somewhere there.
Okay. And then, shoot.
That's your last one. Oh yeah, arm over arm pull.
Arm over arm. Whatever.
Yeah. I know. What's his name there? Brian from Rumble messaged me. Hopefully, doesn't go through the pavement this year.
Hopefully it doesn't go through the pavement this year. We're all hoping for the same thing, that we can get more than 2 guys finishing it. But that's the arm over arm is going to be a heavy truck of some kind. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Might just be my truck with a sled behind.
That's kind of what makes
Yeah,
sense to me. I think.
just because I don't want to have this shift going through the pavement again.
Right.
Especially arm over arm. You're a lot weaker than arm over arm. You're not going to pull it over the hole.
I don't know that me and Jeffers move that
Arm over arm?
equivalent of that with arm over arm.
Yeah,
I don't know if that happens.
It's grip fails. Your grip's not as strong as everything else, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean Jeffers might too. His grip somehow. Yeah, and we should probably have a new rope by then.
Ooh, that's good because
That
my
would
fingers
be-
are still toasty from that last one. We went out and did some training of the arm over arm at Training Grounds Gym, and the rope that they have there, or that we use for Manitoba Strongman Forever, is it's seen better days. And
It's
it takes the skin off of your fingers and your hands, and
it's like an old lady.
yeah,
You know, she's got some mileage, but she still does the job.
still works just fine. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the hands are a little callous.
My hands feel like they look like an old lady's hands when I was down there. It was all wrinkled, and they're just like.
Well, and the truck was moving like crap. We're uphill. We're trying to. My driveway's
Yeah.
full of potholes. I haven't box bladed it, so I go grab the Samurai, and I just lock the e-brake up, screws people a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate was mad. Oh, he was mad. 'Cause I went one notch too high and it locked up the tires.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a good day of training out there. It's good to practice that one. I suck at that one. Like I'm good at a truck pull, and I'm not great at arm over arm because I just don't practice it enough.
Yeah.
My technique's not very strong on it, and it's just.
Well, look at everybody who was there. No offense, you guys need work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The movement, my athletes included. I was not.
Yep. Everybody's practiced with that.
Yeah, the movement, the front to back, like the slide, so slow. The slide and regrip.
Yeah.
That vehicle would stop there. I'm like, you got to be fast with those
Yeah, you gotta
hands.
be quick. Yeah.
Even if you only get a half or 3/4 pull, but you can keep the momentum going,
Right.
you'll get more out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird event because it's one that's hard to practice, unless you have just all the right stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like even like I've been trying to get us practicing out here somewhere, but it's like you need a vehicle with a trailer hitch, otherwise you're kind of fucked without it. And but we'll figure something out, and we'll have a good time with that.
It's always open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can make something work.
Oh, I just burped into the mic. Sorry.
Did you hear that?
I hope not.
Do you taste it?
It tastes like pink monster.
Pink something.
I know something about that.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I don't.
Flesh tone monsters. I told Schwenter, I'm like, look like the kind of guy that eats a banana for its shape, not its flavor.
He's like, yep. So we had a moment here. I didn't tell you this yet, but we had a cool kind of day in the gym here. You might have seen it on, I think Thrones posted about it, where it was like one of those things where I was like standing back as the gym owner. I was like, damn, this is fucking cool. You know what I mean? This is like one of these moments that I'm like, this is why it really captured some of the feelings that I had when I first started going to McDole's, or I would first go to the chicken barn or whatever it might be, where so LaDainian competed at the novice competition, and he on one implement he twisted his ankle getting up onto the step, and then he dropped the implement onto that same foot, so he was limping pretty good,
and scuffed his shoes,
and scuffed his Timbs, So he was limping pretty good by the time the competition was over, and frankly, I was a little bit concerned about it. I was like, oh, this is not good. I didn't want him to get hurt doing this side project that he was doing, whatever, right? But he's a tough kid, and he was fine by a couple days later. So he messaged Thrones asking if he could max out his deadlift on Thursday as a little reward because he hated it, by the way.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think that he might be like, I mean, people don't tell us, I guess, if they hate it, but he might be the only person that I've had do a competition. They do it, they train for it, and he was like, I fucking hated that. Him and Jan, they might be the only ones.
Yeah,
he didn't, but it just didn't. I think honestly, I think that if he did a heavier competition, he would like it more.
Yeah, that was a very light show.
Because I wouldn't like training for conditioning and speed and stuff either.
No, that's why I don't compete anymore.
Right? Yeah, that's why. I wouldn't have enjoyed training for that either. So I think that if I don't know if he listens or whatever, but if he gave it one more chance and did a heavier show, I think that he would enjoy it more. But anyway, he with all that said, he hurt himself doing this thing that he didn't want to do, didn't like it anyway. Yeah. So I was like, fuck. But then he was rewarded with a max deadlift attempt. So I'm trying to see if I don't want to get the number wrong here.
736, right?
Yeah, I think it was 731 or 736. Anyway, but it was 730 or 735. That was what was on the bar.
Yeah. So
he went, pulled it like a little bitch, didn't get it, missed it at lockout.
Yeah.
And whatever. So we were all kind of like, oh, that's the end of that, I guess. Thrones, who was here training, had just done his squats, was doing like his accessory stuff, like doing like lateral raises or something. Comes up to me and he was like, I'm going to go hit that cold. And sure enough, he walks over and gets himself set up, like just snaps up 735 like it's fucking
nothing. Yeah,
it moved a little slowly in the beginning, but he smoked it. And makes eye contact with LaDainian, puts it back down, and gives him a pat on the shoulder as he walks away. And I was like, damn, that was fucking awesome. And then, as if that wasn't enough, so LaDainian goes and he's like, I'm gonna try it again, and goes, hits it after a tough first attempt. It wasn't like he just like got it to his knees and put it down. Like he tried and didn't get it.
Yeah.
And hit it on that second attempt, and it was a fucking awesome moment there. And then he looks and he points, and he had added 1 pound to one side of the bar. So it was 730.
736.
It was 6. I think that's what it was. So, yeah. So it was 736. So it was a pound more than what Thrones had just pulled. And I was just like, damn, that was fucking great. So he erased Thrones' name off the board.
Yeah.
Put his own name on there again finally, and it was awesome. It was just like, it's those moments that are just like, nothing about that is like about smart programming or progression or anything. It's just a little bit of fucking just letting your nuts hang. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hit that cold.
Yeah.
Make a statement.
Yeah.
Knowing it'll hype him up.
And I love seeing Thrones kind of like go outside of what you would expect Thrones to do in that situation.
Yeah, because he would never hit that calculated.
Because why would he, right?
He's a calculated guy.
Yeah, right. If he's extremely calculated guy, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to try something like that unless he has a little bit of a point to prove, which I feel like was what was fun about that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It reminded me of, like I said, those times where it's you're at the at McDole's or whatever on Strongman Saturdays, or you're at the Chicken Barn, in Altona, like fucking 8 a.m. on a Saturday or whatever, and someone says, oh, I think you should give this a try, or I'm going to do this, and you're like, oh, I don't know if that's there, and then they do it, and you're like, oh fuck it, now I look like a bitch, so now I got to do something about this, and it was really, really, really fun.
And I've done that with Pat and Brian in the gym last year.
Pat strikes me as a guy where that would really motivate him.
Well, just like if you can tell they're having a bad day or an off day, and I'm like, I'm injured anyways. There's nothing left in me, and I'll just go up and hit whatever they're hitting, and it's hard. But I'll try to do it, stare them in the eyes, or try to make a statement, even though I'm literally knowing I'm gonna literally pay thousands for this.
In half.
Yeah, and then they go and smash it, and I know they're capable of beating it.
Right.
But it's just they need that, and I've done that before.
That's I just said, but Pat strikes me as the kind of guy where he would be motivated by like, oh, you did that? Well, I got to do it.
Oh,
now
he
too.
is.
You know what
Dude,
I mean?
it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
that day's come and gone for me.
Yeah. Well,
to go beat him it's not going to happen.
well, it was good to see, like I said, that competitive side of Thrones. But it was also good to see a young guy be like, oh, I got to step up here now because everyone's watching. And
you have to step up.
Yeah.
You were just punked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good on him.
Yeah. So it was awesome to see that. Can you remember, like, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I wish I would have asked you this beforehand, but could you remember a time where it's like that kind of similar thing happened where somebody would just like, I mean, for me, it was like every day with Dom, training with Dom.
Yeah.
But where someone was just like they just really like fucking like showed their dominance like that. You know what I mean? Like they stepped up and did it, or even better if they stepped up and did it and someone else like flipped it on them again.
I did that once to John Wade.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
At McDonald's.
For anybody who doesn't know, John Wade was one of the very early like national level
strongman
competitors to come out of Manitoba.
Yeah. Naturally gifted guy.
Yeah.
We were training their farmer walk, which is the one event I could do, and I had a max deadlift of, I don't know, 600 pounds maybe.
Right.
If that, 600 maybe.
Yeah.
At the time, he was struggling with farmers, 365 a hand. He could pick it up and he'd make it like a couple feet and he'd drop it.
Which is pretty crazy for back then.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even now, like 365 a hand is fucking heavy.
It is.
Like in the mid tens like that. That's a very.
It was you didn't hear it very often.
No.
He was struggling, having a bad day, and he would get inside his head when that would happen. And I just went and I grabbed back the handles and I picked those bad boys up, it was 140 pounds over my max deadlift.
Right.
And I picked him up, walked the 10 or 15 feet. Held him for a little while, looked at him, and put him back down.
Wow.
And I don't know whether it helped him or not.
I doubt it.
But it helped me.
I doubt it helped him. He's like you said, he's it's funny you use the word naturally gifted, but he's a gifted athlete. And but him and Dom were both similar in that way, where because they walked out of the gate so good at this stuff, it was really hard for them to hit a wall.
And know how to get past
it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was getting at with the Ladanian thing, is that Ladanian's 21 years old.
Yeah.
And he just pulled 736, and he wins every meet that he does. And he's, he looks great. He's like low body fat, he's jacked, whatever, right? So I think that for him to be presented with something in the gym that he perceived as like, well, I can't do this, it was not good. It didn't sit well with him. And then especially to have somebody else go and do it.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing to see how somebody can get past that first little bit of adversity like that, because it's like he's missed lifts before, sure, but he's never missed a lift and had somebody walk up and smash it right after him, where he's always been the big dog wherever he lifts and whatever he does.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that because I remember that say with training with Dom was that he would start missing weights and he would like leading towards competition, because so often we were just doing whatever, right? Like we weren't like picking smart weights, or we weren't like whatever. We're just like, oh, we'll just try to hit the comp weight for as many times as we can or whatever. So he would miss, say, like the circus dumbbell. I remember that being a real issue for him going to CSM and just.
Well, and you'd have your program weeks out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was not getting. Yeah, we had we were. Well, we'll leave this in the category of if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have our program weeks out. But Don would be like, hey, we're gonna go to the chicken barn and just do the circuit dumbbell, whatever. So he would load it up because he's getting ready for CSM. So he's loading up to the CSM weight, and he would just miss it. He'd miss it, and we wouldn't have any kind of like intuition to be like, all right, we can be smarter about this and like, take it down.
No, none of us had that.
No, it was just like just keep missing it until eventually maybe you'll get it.
Yeah.
But he was a guy too where it's like he didn't deal well with like not getting it. And I remember like a few competitions where he was just like, fuck this, and he would just stop training. And he would just like, we'd be like 3 weeks out of a comp, and he would be like, I'm done with this.
You wouldn't see him in the gym.
Right.
He did that leading into Westerns.
He did it leading to Westerns. He did it leading into War of the West.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he did it on the way to CSM.
That's
too.
what I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure he did on the way to CSM.
Where he was just like, "Fuck this," and he walked away. And then it really is a testament to exactly how gifted he was that he would still win Westerns and War of the West, and he would still finish top half at CSM.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting thing. It was interesting insight to be like, because I'm not naturally good at this.
Yeah.
I have to work very hard to be even as good as I am right now. But he was a guy where he just started doing it really well.
Yeah.
And John Wayne was that too. He was just a big, strong dude. Yeah. And he started doing really well. And then when things started getting harder, it didn't really interest him the same way.
When the gap started closing from the other competitors, when you're so far ahead of everybody, naturally. But no. No, but I mean the guy's hands were this big. He was a big dude.
He's a big guy. Yeah.
So when you're so far ahead of everybody just on your work ethic talent, and that's the problem with being at the top is people close that gap fast and you won't lengthen it.
No.
They will always close that gap.
Right.
That can get to people.
For sure.
Yeah. And
well,
then,
I mean, I look at even on a smaller scale. If you're looking at Manitoba's Strongest Man this year, June 8th and Morris. Like last year, I was very confident that I'm like, well, this is my competition. Yep. This year, there's 3 guys I could think off the top of my head that could potentially unseat me.
Yeah.
And I do feel confident that I'll still go there and win because that's what I have. I feel confident that I can do that. But I certainly wouldn't be entirely shocked if somebody came up and just was like, fuck it.
Well, last year you were pretty confident. I don't know if you did, but I think you won almost every event, right?
I think that I might have. I don't. I'm trying to think of anything got past me. I think I might have taken all the events because it was a lucky.
Close to.
Yeah, I basically had to get to a point where I just had to beat Dan and everything, right? So that's just what I was doing.
Yeah.
But but
this year it's going to be
there's lots of events that aren't good for that aren't. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think I feel you're front runner. But I don't think it'll be a clean swipe all the events.
No, God, no. I think that
the bench could throw a trick in there.
Yep, I think that
arm over arm.
I give the bench to Pat. I give the circus dumbbell to Dan.
Yeah.
I give the arm over arm to.
Well, Langler's got a hell of a bench too.
I think that the
lever might cause some issues.
Yeah, I think that Pat with the short arms will do better on that one.
Yeah, I think arm over arm could very well be Pat's.
Could be Pat. Could be Langler too if he's practicing it. He's got those. He's just a long guy.
Like I look at Magnus last year and Pat lost to Tristan by a second or two.
Yep.
For second place.
So Pat's just got like that motor.
He's
where
fast.
He can just go.
Yeah.
Right.
Boom.
So,
Boom. Yeah.
So I think that's a good one for him. But
it's going to be how much gap you can put between you and the next guy.
For sure.
Like that's fighting for those spots because you get one bad event, you lose 8 points or 6 points.
Right.
And the arm over arm is one that really does that to people.
Yeah.
When I did MS7, I'm like the arm over arm, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
Yeah.
That was the first event. That screwed with my head so bad that I didn't win that event.
Right.
Because that's an event I'm good at. The harness pull never won. And Mondor won that.
Really?
And I watched back the videos. I'm like, where did I go wrong? And I seen where I went wrong, and I was so pissed at myself for it.
Too fat.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't squat back forward. But it was one that I was like, okay. But the fact that, and no offense to Mondor, the fact that Mondor won that, I knew Mondor wouldn't win MSM. Like I knew I was ahead of everything else. So I'm like, okay, to lose those points to him when I know I can gap him next, it wasn't going to be big. But
that's where this changes is that, and there's also something to be said for like anybody can come up and shake up the points too. Like there can be like if Chris Godden does it, he's a great bench presser too.
Dude,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of people who come in and shake this up. And
Chris Godden, are you coming out?
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet on any of our lists. I don't mean to make it sound like it's going to be like a 3 or 4 person race because it's not. There's a whole bunch of people that could very easily go in there and do some real damage.
I say the top 6 are going to be close.
Yeah, but I think that I think it's going to be a really exciting competition, and I think
Yoke.
I think that I can win Yoke.
Yep.
I think I don't. Yep. And like I said, if Langlar's got long legs, if he can practice enough and get moving under a yoke, then he could do really well with it.
But it takes Langlar's strong statically, guy overall.
Yeah.
But it takes some time to get that stability under implements.
Yes.
Just the shakiness under a log took
Right.
Pat like a year and a half to get rid of those. Just the outright shaking.
Right.
And whether it's the nervous system, whether it's your muscle, it is so much stability.
Right.
Yoka's another one.
Yeah.
Yoka's another one. You get a 1,000-pound yoke, whatever the heck we're gonna. Well, not 1,000. I really wanted 1,000, but 800 something yoke. You lose your footing.
Should we go heavier than 8?
Yeah, we'll see. Never know where it's gonna go.
Should we do 850?
No one knows the weight of my new implements.
You get a new yoke?
Well, I bought a yoke off Rainroad, a Rogue One.
Oh, sweet. Well, everyone knows the way the Rogue One.
No, it's a Rogue One from 15 years ago.
Oh, I see.
They were made a little heavier back then.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But I swear it's 180.
I sent it to Devin.
We'll correct it for the women.
I had this thing that I like. It was like a friend of mine sent it to me. He was like, "Oh, this would make a cool like strongman implement," and it was just that giant like shelf thing that I sent you with like the sleds on it. And I was like, "Oh my god, we could turn this into a backlift. Like this could be a fucking backlift."
Yeah.
And then I clicked on the link and it was 2 tons, so it was like 4,500 pounds.
Yeah.
So not.
Like, shit must have been half-inch steel plate. It was crazy.
I looked at it. I was like, I never would have guessed it was like that. But
no, I'm like, oh, it might be 1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we can make that work because half that weight's the base.
Yeah.
And we just put a slide on there and stuff.
We were this close to having a backlift in Western Canada. I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah, we could make that happen. Yeah. I got enough shit lying around my property.
I think that we could if we just looked at like if we looked at kind of what the one they have in the East, which I think is like a 1-of-1 type thing.
Yeah.
But if we just looked at that, we're like, how could we make like a dumb version of this? I think that we could kind of figure it out.
I could. Yeah. I've matched everything else.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I can break that down. Actually, Morgan's she's going to high school now, so she had to pick her courses.
Yeah.
Go off talk of it, and she's doing business innovation and a couple other ones that she wants, like more business oriented. She wants to be maybe an engineer and architect. She wants to do something with designing houses, and then the one's like AutoCAD, and I'm just sitting next to her. I'm like, you got to pick that one.
Yeah.
Well, why, Dad? And she was going to her, so I'm like, because I don't know how to do that stuff, and I need you to design me shit. So it's like 3D printing, AutoCAD. So I'm like, I need you to learn this. Because I need more stuff built. Like,
someone in the family has to know how to do
this.
I'm
like, I was looking at buying one of those lasers.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Like to laser engrave things. They're like $12,000 or $15,000 though. And I'm like, if I buy one, for her, I want to maybe get her to start a little side business. I'm like, if you learn that stuff, like, I'll put the money in. Yeah. And then you can teach me how to do this cool shit. And then I can make myself cool coffee mugs. Like, I'm looking at us thinking a little shit I can make myself.
Yeah, I can give myself a cool keychain.
But I'm selling it to her as you can have your own business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. You can make cool coffee mugs.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, coming up next in our cavalcade of strongman competitions, we have Battle of the Border 2, May 25th. Elsie's Hotel, Tolstoy, Manitoba. Elsie's Hotel is not just the venue; they're like our presenting sponsor for the event. Yep. Go ahead, give them a follow. I think it's at Elsie's Hotel Tolstoy on Instagram.
I think so, yeah.
I really want these companies to see a nice little influx of online activity and stuff from all the strongman people, and I know that you guys are always really great for doing that. So I
took a page out of your book because you're good at that. You're like, find a chamber of commerce, just start emailing people.
Yeah.
And I suck at that shit because I'm a guy who doesn't like asking anybody for money or help. Hence the reason I ran the Strongman Manitoba.
Anybody for money.
Like, I don't like asking for help. And I'm like, so Deadlift for Dreams this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I just went through St. Mulch and I just before I got here, I just started sending every business I could an email.
Yeah.
I made a big formal email with all the corporate sponsorships and then my personal link. If you don't want to do this, sponsor my link.
Right.
Yada, yada. And I'm going to see if that works.
I don't see why I wouldn't. The thing is that, like, so... To what Devin's saying here is that I just go to the business directory of whatever town that we're in. Here's a little behind the scenes for anybody who's looking to put on their own competition or their own event or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I just go to the business directory and just cold email every business in town.
Yeah. Do you get any like responses saying no?
No, not usually.
Just the ones that respond are always in.
Usually the people that hit me back are just like, yeah, we're interested.
Because I tried that last year, last couple years. I'll email all my builders.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of builders in Winnipeg.
Right.
And not one will sponsor me.
Well,
any of my events.
That's really shitty because that's a charity, especially too.
So. One does. Evan Schinkel, Superior Projects. And actually, currently, I'm not even doing work for him. He sponsors me every year, and immediately, and then a couple of the workers of the builders or the project managers, not the owners. The owners have never sponsored me, but a couple of the project managers will privately sponsor me.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which is pretty cool.
There you go. So
but my builders themselves, I'm like, man, like.
Fuck
they send me all their stuff for all their grandkids and shit, and I sponsor them every year. I buy their pizzas and do this shit. And then I send the email back, something that's close to my heart, not a response.
You should send them the email and be like, just as a reminder, of course, that I
spent $500 on pizzas.
Yeah, I bought your stupid popcorn or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and now I'm fat and I got diabetes. Cholesterol's high. And
help me help this fucking kid. Yeah. So that's all. I mean, that's just all we do, and those little things like so the businesses they just give like a little bit to each thing, but that is like that's the cost of the stream covered. That's the cost of the trophies covered. And it just helps out. But that's
it helps us make more profit.
It helps us to line our pockets off of the blood and the sweat of the strongman community in Manitoba.
I haven't heard nothing about that stupid organization since. You? They still haven't answered my messages.
No, I haven't heard anything.
I sent him nice, not being a dick. Just like I said last podcast. How are you guys structuring this? How are you guys getting your equipment? Are you planning on old promoters coming in?
That's what it says. They want to help the promoters.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a hey, like maybe it's a good idea.
But maybe it is.
I'm trying to be the guy like
we want to. We're. It says they want to help the promoters. We're the promoters.
Yeah.
So we want to know what's the help coming to us.
Yeah, and considering I have 95% of the equipment in Manitoba for competing is mine.
Right. I think that's okay. That's an interesting thing I think about strongman competitions is that I think that people kind of overlook maybe is that like when we put these competitions together, we have a bit of an infrastructure put into place here that makes it run as well as it does.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody who's thinking about putting on a competition, first of all, I urge you to do it because I think that more competitions the better. That's great.
Yep.
You should do it. But I think that people don't realize that it's like Devin's a very, very nice guy. I'm not. So if you speak to Devin and you ask him to borrow his equipment for the strongman stuff for your own competition, Devin will say yes because Devin's a fucking sweetheart.
And then
I'm going to come over and I'm going to
time.
grab him by his shoulders and I'm going to whisper in his ear, not without them paying you for a rental fee. They're not going to use it. And that's how it's going to go.
That has happened all too often.
That's how it's going to go. Because Devin spends his own fucking money on this stuff. And that's where and Devin being just the nice southern gentleman that he is, will let other people use it for free, and that's not happening.
If I look at the profit we made in Strong Manitoba last year, I need math. I think we have to have the same seasons last year for 12 years for me to get my money back for what I put in.
So if you are thinking about putting on a competition, I urge you to do it, but I urge you to do it with the information and the knowledge that you're not getting the equipment for free.
I'll rent you the equipment.
Absolutely. Devin will rent you the equipment because he owns all the good stuff in Manitoba, right? So it's not me. It's not my money. It's Devin's stuff. I'm just watching out for my friend. That's all.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't watch out for himself.
The problem is because you
sometimes.
tell me that in front of my wife, who thinks the exact same way you think. Stop doing everything for free.
Me and Danielle are both very smart when it comes to
and Gord too. Gord's our guy. Like Gord's a guy who will donate kegs, stones. He always for comps. He's been helping out with equipment
for sure. Shout out Gord for doing that
because he actually really wants to be involved.
Yeah,
like he would like to be in a position like to help promote and everything. I think that's his future calling.
I hope he does.
Yeah, and but yeah, he's a guy too that sometimes like you can't do everything for free. Like all these guys seem like Devin. I know you're nice, but you can't do everything. And I've done that now with my coaching. So I'm bad that way. I'll have my athletes out, and then let's say guys come up for brick house that I don't coach, and I'm just like. I start coaching my guys, and then I give them the same info
because they're there, right? So
and I'm just like I just want to see people succeed, and I started to realize that it started to cost riffles with my guys. Like we're paying you,
we're paying for it.
We're coming up for these sessions.
That's the thing
and you're giving this knowledge for free to other people.
That's the thing, and it's not you being an asshole. It's not you being like withholding or gatekeeping or whatever. It's just recognizing that you have a business and that people are paying you for it, and it's their money is worth that information, right? So And I have the same problem too, man. When people, when people ask me questions, I'm just like, well, I want to help you. Like it's not like I want to make money off you. I want to help you. But this is also my business. You know?
If your clients, if you and your clients end up coming out to my gym all the time, I'm always helping. You're the same with mine. For sure. Now I realize I stepped on. I did something this weekend to you that I didn't know I did, but Danielle told me afterwards that I did.
Oh, I don't even know what this is.
So I felt kind of bad. But I was doing my own session this weekend. I was bitting my own head, and you had lined up the arm over arm, and I was busy, and I wanted to get my session in. So some of my athletes were outside, and you were showing them.
Yep.
And me and you have two slightly different styles in certain events.
Right.
I have a certain way of doing my arm, and you have a different way.
Yeah.
Whether we wrap the rope, I'm against certain things. So I guess you had told Lexi to do this a certain way. I wasn't out there. And which isn't wrong, but I like it a different way.
Oh, the rope around
yes,
the arm thing.
So I didn't know you did that, so I come strolling out there, being my grumpy self, because I wasn't having a good. Mike,
what kind of fucking moron told you to do that? You fucking dumb bitch!
I literally said something along those lines, and I was a little grumpy because Mike stood me up for a leg workout.
Son of a bitch.
Mike Jerkson, you piece of shit, and I waited, and we're supposed to train. He never showed up, and I was so bitter because I don't rely on training partners for that reason, and I relied on him because he's out visiting me. And so I was already grumpy. I roll out there. She's got that rope wrapped on her arm, and I'm just like, "Who showed you this shit? What are you doing?" And I pity Lexi because I kind of treat her like.
She can handle it.
I treat her sometimes pretty like. I see her as like me and Danielle are our illegitimate daughter, so I treat her sometimes a little shittier than I should. I'm just very blunt with her.
Not shitty. It's just you're just plain with her. Like
Yeah.
you're flat out with her.
Yeah,
You know,
and I
like-
just like, who taught you this shit? Raise your feet. You're gonna do it this way. Yada yada. She did it, and I leave, and we're in the house later, and I was like, Devin, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, well, what's going on? She's like, Tyler showed her to do it that way, and you just like came out of the gym right and you were right there, and just like everything. This is wrong. This is stupid. And you just gotta step back. And I wasn't catching on what's going on.
No,
I want it this way. And I leave the deal. I was like, yeah, you kind of just were that guy. I'm like,
But you know what? Like it didn't.
And it wasn't wrong.
No, it honestly didn't bother me in the slightest, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you why. Is that like it's the same thing too? Like when I was doing wrestling more.
Yeah.
Is that like so you have a way that, like say your trainer or whatever will teach you, the guy who's like you're
Yeah.
the one in charge. Now, very often in wrestling schools and stuff, someone will pop in for a day to take over, or someone will pop in to do like a guest spot or something like that.
Yep.
All very normal. Like somebody who's also very experienced and very knowledgeable and very good at what they do. And they might tell you to do something completely differently
Yeah.
than what your coach tells you to do. Your normal coach.
Yeah.
And the advice that I always give guys is listen, say okay, take it in, and then when your regular coach is there, say this is something that I was told, whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's what your regular coach tells you that
Yeah.
goes. And I think that if I tell you to do your grip placement this way, and your coach tells you to do your grip placement this way, say hey, Tyler suggested this way. What do you think about that? And then your coach, who you're
Yeah.
very capable of telling them exactly why that's not a way that you would have them do it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you that, and then that's what you go by.
Yeah.
But I've always been a huge proponent of like what coach says goes.
Because then I'd ask you, why do I not wrap the rope, and why does Tyler? And I'm like, I've never had an issue with any grip.
Right.
Never been a problem for me. When people get tired, they wrap the rope because they can tie the rope. They can put the rope between their arm and their chest and get some extra pull. I said, so that's why a lot of guys do the rope thing. I said, so she's like, I told her, I'm like, I understand why he does it. I've just never had that issue, and my problem is if I never had that issue, I'm like, well, you won't have that issue either. So I've got to watch the times, but it was just, I just came out, storming out, gave her shit, she does the pull, and I walked back to the gym, not like ignoring everybody. And then I'm like,
And I also say too that Lexi handled that exactly right too,
Yeah.
where she wasn't like, well, he just told me, she just said okay, and she just did it that way.
Yeah,
which is the
she reacts like the beaten puppy she is.
it's just a very coachable way of being.
Yeah.
Where she was like, okay, that's the way I'll do it then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
I actually really did respect her.
She's going to get last place in the event. And I'm like,
I like the way that she handled it. I thought that was actually pretty good.
But yeah, you probably didn't catch on to it, but I felt pretty bad. I was like, I didn't realize that. I just stormed out being a dink.
Oh, that's all
Yeah.
part. We have multiple people working together in a spot like that. We're all gonna
Yeah.
have different opinions on stuff. So to put a button on that,
Yeah.
LC's Tolstoy. LC's and Tolstoy sponsoring. Also, Blowout Fire and Safety is one of our sponsors for Battle of the Border 2.
Pretty cool name, actually.
Yeah, I like it. They're
Yeah.
they're exactly that. They're a fire and safety company. They service all the fire extinguishers and the safety equipment and stuff for Southern Manitoba. So hey, if in any way you can have something that is falling under that umbrella,
Yeah.
please hit them up. Let them know because they're sponsoring and they're stepping up, and we have no connection to them whatsoever. They hit us up and said they want to sponsor. So thanks to them. After that, we have June 8th. We have Manitoba's Strongest Man and Woman in Morris. We've got some huge sponsors for that one. We've got so it's not Flatland Diesel anymore.
Yeah.
It's Stratton Agri, right?
Stratton, he changed his name. Stratton Agri. We're just waiting for his logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Same guy, just changed his name.
They're also on Instagram, Stratton Agri.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not exactly a huge agricultural guy, but I do still give them a follow, and I still listen.
Yeah.
So it really goes a long way for them to see all these strongman people and stuff following them, and be like, hey, the word's getting out there. That's really nice because they are a major sponsor.
Yes.
For Manitoba's Strongest Man. They're quite and woman
By far, it's our biggest sponsorship we've had.
ever, and they're quite literally the reason that we can do what we do with that one. Because,
Like, they actually topped SBD sponsorship for nationals.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. They are the sole reason that we're able to give away the cash prizes that we are for Manitoba's
Yes.
Strongest Man and Woman. Otherwise, we would just not be able to do it. So give them a follow. Like their shits. Tell them, comment on one of their pictures and say, hey,
Yeah.
Strong Manitoba sent me here, and that's going to go a long way.
If you got heavy equipment, tractors,
yeah,
combines, that's what he does.
If your name's Pat Gregoire, hey, consider talking to them.
Damn well better. They train together, too.
Oh,
They
son
used
of
to,
a
yeah.
gun. Okay,
So you
so
better support him.
good.
That Pat.
He's I don't know what to say.
The term is, dude, speaking of Pat, so I was at Pat's place Friday night. He finally invited me to check out the old farm.
Okay.
Me, Danielle, and Mike went down there. And we played poker, actually. My wife's never played poker. Pat's wife eliminated that guy 3 times. We let him buy back in 3 times, and his wife took him out within 3 hands.
Really?
He I guess his wife's never played poker, and Pat's a poker expert.
Well,
So he
he's
says.
not a poker expert.
Yeah, and he goes all in 3 times, and she just mops the floor with him.
We know who wears the pants in that family.
She ended up winning the whole thing anyways. I was pretty pissed, but
That's amazing.
frick was it funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another one of our sponsors for Manitoba's Strongest Man and Woman is Intergalactic Hot Sauces, which is actually, if you guys are familiar with the ones that we sell here, like the Iron Ages on the Juice hot sauce, they're the ones who make that. They're locally owned, like right here in Winnipeg. They're 2 guys who just...
I need to buy that.
It's great, dude. Their stuff is really,
is it
really
pretty
good.
spicy or
It's, like I would say upper medium.
Oof.
Maybe, for a Mennonite tongue, it might be a little bit much.
Like
We'll see.
Frank's rocks my world.
Then I wouldn't put something on you that I didn't think you could enjoy. So I don't know that it's for you. But the stuff that they make is amazing. They have a whole catalog of stuff that's like kind of runs the gambit from real spicy to not so spicy, and they make like chili sauce and all this stuff. They're really, really great. And I really urge everyone to go and give them a follow on Instagram.
Yep.
Order their stuff if you need some hot sauce stuff. They deliver to in the city, I believe. And they're just really nice guys, and they just like to get involved in stuff. They're always sponsoring concerts and events, and
They've been sponsoring us for a couple of years already.
the Galactic Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
No, they're a new one.
Didn't they sponsor last year?
No, that's First Row Collectibles.
He's been a couple years. I
Who's
thought they had.
That's who our next sponsor is.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
But
Anyways,
they're a new one on there, and they're awesome. So we love
maybe
them.
because you've been selling it you've done 2 or 3
selling it
runs.
forever. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
My bad. Yeah.
So we and then our next one's First Row Collectibles, which is a buddy of mine, Curtis. He runs it, Indigenous-owned store here in the city. He's on Main Street, like way down Main Street, kind of by Baraka there. If you guys have been there, go to Baraka. It's a great restaurant. Go to First Row and then stop by Baraka. They're also an online store. That's like their primary stuff. But they're great for gifts, great for all kinds of sports stuff, like lots of like Winnipeg like Bombers and Jets and even Gold Eyes and stuff, like old classic stuff. It's really, really a cool little store. I really urge you to go in there and check it out and go say hi to Curtis and his son who's running it with him now.
Yeah.
And also we have I'm going to pull this up to make sure I get this right here. A surprise one here. The Morris
Cookie Co.
The Morris Wellness Center has just jumped on as a sponsor for Manitoba Strongman. So thank you to them for jumping on. We love seeing this.
Well, we're doing it in their parking lot.
Is that for real?
The Morris Wellness Center, there's the gym there. That's the huge building right the backdrop behind us.
Oh well, come on. Then that's perfect.
Yep.
Pop in for a workout afterwards, then, guys.
Yep.
We really love seeing like these like small businesses it's not small businesses, the small town businesses get involved and become part of this, and it really brings like a whole community aspect to it. So we really love that. After that, we got Vita Canada Day. We got our sponsor for that one is Hooters,
They've been with us.
What can you say?
They've been hooting and hollering us for a long time.
Absolutely, Kevin Cannon.
How did your judging go?
Oh yes, I was the judge of the Miss Hooters pageant, and I did great.
Did you?
Yeah, it was actually a really fun time. So like Kevin Cannon is one of the guys he's one of the owner operators there at Hooters, the franchise here, and I've been friends with him for 10 years, 12 years through wrestling, and he asked, it would be a good look if we could get Manitoba's Strongest Man to come down and judge our Miss Hooters pageant. Yeah. And I said, "Come on."
When they have
how could I say no?
When they have a 65+ one, get the old Manitoba Strongest Man to come in.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when they have the Miss Hooters of the past pageant, that would be tremendous. And then someday when they have when things go the way that us city folk like it, when they have a Mr. Hooters pageant, then we'll really be in business. And then I could judge that one too.
And Tyler loses his password for Manitoba Strongman to promote that.
But thank you to Hooters for always sponsoring us all the way back to nationals, and they really take good care of us. And if you're ever looking for a little bite to eat in the city here, please.
I actually eat I order their wings quite often in the office. We have a birthday. It's generally order
beautiful
deep fried pickles and wings, and it's, to be honest, a lot of it's because of their sponsorship for us.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, we keep it all in the community.
Support their business.
The people who support us.
Yep.
And then in August, I want to ask you a little bit. We got a little bit of time here still. But what's how's the Magnus show looking for you guys?
Good.
For anybody who doesn't know, I think I mentioned this last time, that Devin runs the Magnus show with the Magnus group. Yeah. Like the Magnus Classic group. Yeah. And it's Strong Manitoba in the sense that I will support him and help him however I can. But it's Devin with the Magnus group, so I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, we have. To be honest, we haven't even set the events yet.
Really?
We're still debating back and forth on certain. I haven't talked to Magnus much in the last couple weeks here. I know he had some comps with the Arnold overseas there, and so I haven't blown up his line here a bit. Brad Hurst working a lot still behind the scenes, getting funding.
As
and
he does.
Yeah, his guy's phenomenal at finding money, and he's a good promoter that way.
He's a staple in the community there, so it really helps him to get out and about. It'd be the same thing if we did something in St. Malo, or if we do whatever. It's just when you have somebody on the ground there that everyone knows and likes, it makes it a lot easier.
The lineup's pretty crazy, so I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to see the lineup released.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. There's gonna be some tough competition. It sounds like
it's gonna be some heavy hitters.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, a lot of returning guys, which is good.
Some local faces.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be good.
Awesome.
It'll be fun.
That's August long at the Gimli
Icelandic Festival.
Say it. Say the.
No, I can't say it.
Lingadingadurgan or whatever the.
I don't know what is what.
That's the way they say it for the Iceland Festival.
How do they say it?
Oh, I just
no, you just nailed it. No, you nailed it there.
It's the Islingadurgan.
No, I just wanted you to say that again.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
I don't know a damn clue.
Is Lingadingadurgan or something?
Oh, that sounded like it went from Ghibli to East Indian real quick.
But check that one out because that one's a lot of fun. And then August 10th, we have provincials in Winkler. As part of the Harvest Festival there, which is like I said it before, but that's some real strongman history there. I'm really excited to have.
That's where I started.
That's where a lot of us started. That's where I had my first Manitoba competition.
Yep, me too.
Well,
Teddy Boss, but that was the staple. Was the Winkler comp?
Yeah,
the pinnacle of Manitoba Strongman was competing at that show.
I think a lot of Western Canadians and even the Thunder Bay guys and stuff would agree with that too. Is that was like that was a really big important show, and I'm really excited to have Strongman back at that festival in Winkler. I wish I could compete in it. Honestly, I think it's gonna be. I hope that the people who can compete in it do because it's a really cool part of Manitoba history.
And you have to qualify for it.
Right.
And to qualify for it, you need your SCC membership.
No,
I don't know. Are we?
I don't know.
We'll discuss it. I told someone this morning that they weren't in if they don't get the membership. I'll have to retract that.
Okay,
but I'm sure he listens to the podcast.
He should. Okay, so I think that to be, maybe we could discuss this because we get asked this a lot.
We did talk about that we had just let
because here's the thing is that a lot of our athletes, so they just simply can't afford to go to nationals this year.
Being in New Brunswick,
it's an expensive trip, and I'm sure Sam and Max are fully aware of that. And it's just they have a new gym out there. They want to get the buzz out about that, and I totally understand their choice of going there. But for some people, it's just not feasible. It's not realistic. A lot of our people have families and stuff that spend that kind of money is just not reasonable. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we encourage people to compete still as much as they can inside the province. Yeah. I don't think we have to look into the exact rules of this. I don't think that I think that we can run provincials as like an open competition technically.
I do it anyways.
Open invite, I should say. Yeah. But you just wouldn't get your nationals invite unless you've.
I've always done that though. What I'll do is I'll like last year before, even when SCC just started, before I asked you to come on, but I ran that year. Yeah. I just let everybody compete, and then I redid the standings.
Right, and that's
took them out of the equation completely. Right. It was more work for me, but I just eliminated them from the comp afterwards, and then submitted those standings. Right. So a guy could have placed 5th, but he was actually 3rd with the membership. Right. So that's what he places.
The way it works. Yeah. And that's probably what we'll do because we really want to encourage people to compete in all the competitions that they can locally. So to answer a question we've been asked a million times, no, you don't need an SCC membership to compete in the regionals and provincials, but yes, you do need one to compete at nationals. Yes, you do need one for any of your scores to count towards, like say if you get records. Yeah. They will not be SCC records if you're not with a membership.
And your membership has to be paid before the competition date to qualify. So if you're like, I want to do if also you finish provincials and you place 1st. Hey, I'm qualified for nationals. No, you didn't have a membership before Tolstoy Vita. You got nothing.
Yep, that's absolutely correct.
It has to be before the day of the comp.
Yep. So
that happened to somebody a couple times already in Manitoba.
Right.
Yeah, I told them the day of, get your membership. I'll even like 10 minutes for the comp start. I'm like, pay your membership right now. I'll still let you qualify. Then the dude wins. Yeah. Well, can I buy it now? Tough tits, man. Do another one.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But we do want to encourage everyone to compete as much as they possibly can. So we are going to make them open to everybody. But with that in mind, get signed up. Yep. Tolstoy, Vita, and Manitoba Strongest Man and Woman are all open, so get signed up for those. Yep. And Devin, do you have anything else you want to add today?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, with that, we'll leave you guys for another week, and we'll see you. What's going on this weekend? Anything specific?
What do I have this?
This is a rare weekend off, I think.
Yeah, I'm suit and tie dinner Friday night. That sucks.
Oh, that'll be a weird sight to see.
Yeah, birthday parties. Yeah, not much.
Well, nothing strongman then.
Nothing strongman.
So we'll see you guys next week for another episode, and then we got Battle of Barbarians to talk about after that.
Yes, we will.
So long, friends.